I'm Claire, 27, and I grew up in a small Midwest town where everyone knew each other, and a family's reputation meant almost everything. The houses sat close together, lawns always trimmed just so, and neighbors tracked every detail of your life. My parents loved that world. They believed a polished image mattered more than anything else. From the start, they made sure I understood that our family name needed to stay spotless. My Aunt Marlene, my mother's younger sister, became the person everyone in town admired. She was sharp, ambitious, and always perfectly put together. She hosted glittering dinner parties that people talked about for weeks, and her career seemed to rise higher every year. My parents compared me to her constantly. They'd say I should learn confidence from my aunt or pick up her social skills. It never felt like a compliment. It sounded like a warning that I was already falling short. When I was 14, I made the mistake of trusting her. A teacher had made an inappropriate remark to me, and I confided in Marlene because I thought she would understand. Instead, she brushed it off and told my parents that I liked to make things up. I still remember the way my parents looked at me afterward, like they weren't sure whether to believe me or their brilliant sister. From that day, a quiet doubt settled over our family. Marlene didn't have to say much. Just a few words from her were enough for people to question me. The rumor spread through her wide circle of friends and relatives faster than I could react. By the time I started high school, classmates had already heard whispers that I liked to tell stories. No one said it directly to my face, but I caught the sideways glances. Teachers kept a polite distance. It was as if my credibility had been stolen before I even knew how to defend it. Things came to a head at my high school graduation. During the celebration, Marlene made a toast that turned into a joke about dramatic teenagers and their tall tales. The room erupted in laughter. I felt my face burn while everyone, including my parents, chuckled along. That moment stayed with me. It confirmed what I'd suspected for years. In my family's eyes, Marlene's word mattered more than mine. College was my escape. I chose a school several states away and barely looked back. Moving into my dorm felt like breathing fresh air after years in a stuffy room. I kept my visits home short, just the required holidays, and focused on building a life where I could stand on my own. By 25, I had carved out a solid career in architectural design. I lived in a modern downtown apartment, enjoyed my work, and surrounded myself with people who respected me. I kept contact with my parents measured and polite. It was easier that way. Even from a distance, Marlene's reputation only grew. She became the chair of several charity boards and turned her home into a hub for elegant fundraisers. Society columns in our town's small paper often featured her events. She loved being the center of attention and seemed to collect admirers everywhere she went. Then came the news that set the next chapter in motion. Marlene announced she was engaged to Gregory, a well-dressed entrepreneur with the kind of charm that put people at ease. Their romance seemed to unfold overnight, and within weeks the family buzzed about the wedding plans. The engagement party invitations were glossy and expensive, hinting at a ceremony that would be the event of the year. My parents couldn't stop talking about it. When I visited for a spring family dinner, I caught Marlene watching me across the table. Her gaze wasn't warm or welcoming. It felt more like she was waiting for something. Some misstep she could turn into a story. During dessert, she mentioned an upcoming professional milestone and hinted that she would soon need everyone's full support. Her voice carried just enough weight to make the room quiet. No one asked for details, but I noticed the satisfied look in her eyes. That evening, I walked back to my car with the familiar tension that always came after family gatherings. The distance I'd built between us felt like my only protection.